Hello Hambini fans and welcome to another episode of Hambini Reams, or should I call it Hambini Riffs, because someone has taken over my word. Right, have we got to 7 seconds yet? Better just check that pen is working. The pen is working. Right. MTB riders getting rinsed because they are clueless as fuck, right? By Hambini, aged 5. Remember, check me out on Patreon. A lot of you have already checked me out on Instagram and Facebook. Right, a bit of context. BTR Fabrications are, well, this is BTR Fabrications Limited. It is a boutique fabrication outfit from a place called Froome in Somerset. It is where Jenson Button, the famous racing driver, is from. This is the guy behind it. His name is Paul Burford. He has got his picture all over his Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. So I've taken a screenshot of it just to show you what he looks like. Just pointing at my hair. Right, now a viewer sent me a link to his short, right? It's a short video asking why MTB riders thought that reaming before welding was a good idea. If you don't watch the rest of this video, I'll tell you it's not, okay? Now, because I'm technically a journalist, and to keep my journalist ticket, I have to provide the requirement for the guy to reply. So a right to reply, and I've done it on 3 separate occasions. Now, he said he has no respect for me and therefore does not want to reply. And he does not want to justify himself in front of a bunch of roadies. But anyway, this is the Instagram reaming I got. So I put up a picture on Instagram and this is what he put. He put, ha ha ha, can't believe I have finally made it to this page. I love watching HBO's videos, mostly because his lack of real life engineering knowledge is basically non-existent. Does that mean I've got lots of engineering knowledge? I think that's what he meant. All he does is talk loud with zero actual hands-on experience. Well, it's better than Lucia fucking Technic, isn't it? Because that would be just like the most dullest discussion ever. Right, and then some more shit from all these people. Dude, please tell me how you can see from this picture whether the finish is out of spec for the intended application. Correct, you can't, blah, blah, blah. Right, if that isn't a head tube, then there isn't a problem, blah, blah, blah. And some other fucker. Right, and someone else as well. Let me show you the picture in question. So this is the picture I took, and I just, briefly commented and said it was a bag of shit. You can see all these lines in it, and I also copied out his little things where I just put crap surface finish, and he said, "You haven't a clue. Get back to measuring frame alignment with a piece of string." He could have lived to regret that, but let's carry on. Right, let's play this video. So there he was, giving it a bit of finger action. I'm just going to stop it there. Notice his cutting tool is full of swarf. I'll stop it again there. Notice the frame was shaking around. And also notice that there's this frame isn't fully welded. So this tube is welded, but this one is not. Then notice that we've got the facing tool that's come in, complete with blue contaminated bits of paint and God knows what else. Bit of filing. And this is the screenshot that I took to put on Instagram. And this is the other side. Now, well, let's listen to his commentary.
When we ream and chase everything is because it deforms during the welding. You can kind of see it a bit there where it's missed a bit.
It's missed a bit, distorted.
During the reaming process. And the rest of it is reamed and it's just that one little section that's missing, so everything's all good.
Right, let's go through this in a bit of detail, right? The first thing is you've got chips, right? Before even starting, right? And the cutter looks to be blunt, because if you look at these things here, they're rippled. Ah, jeez, right? And then if you look down here, where these chips are, they all congregate at the bottom. And then when you turn the cutter round, it embeds itself into the sidewalls and then it picks up. Now I think this material is probably like 4100 series steel. So it's chromoly. It's not quite stainless, but it's soft. So chromoly is around 20, 22 HRC hardness Rockwell. Whereas, you know, if we were to take the other extreme, bearing steel is like 58, 60. Now we've got this, okay? Now that is not a full weld. There's a load of mountain bikers out there telling me that this thing's fucking fully welded. It's not, okay? That needs welding, so does that. That is a tack. That one is also a tack. And it looks like it's been welded left to right, and a piece looks like it might have gotten very hot by the crater, because if you look at the colour around here versus the colour here, it's obviously got a tinge of blue. Whether that's important or not, we'll find out. Now this, I mean, this is just scandalous. This is the facing tool that he uses, right? Just look at all the chips in there before he even gets it to the head tube, right? Material contamination in there. And then I was just looking at some of his other Instagram stuff. He does a workshop tour. That is his cutting tool. He leaves it like that to go on to the next piece of equipment. Absolutely ridiculous, right? Again, here at this point, this is still not fully welded. Now, normally, kind of like rules of thumb, people talk in Ds. So whatever that diameter there is, let's call it, I call it 50 mil for argument's sake. They would normally say 5D or 3D if you don't want to get any distortion. Well, this is well within that. I don't have a weld procedure for it, but we're going to come to that. And then, yeah, I mean, the contamination in there, it's just ridiculous. Now, when he does weld it, so if he welds around there, then the central axis of this is likely to bend, because welds cause metal to shrink. So it heats up and then shrinks. And then it's going to like weld and then bend like a fucking banana. Right? This is, I mean, this looks like galling to me. I mean, when I first looked at it, I thought this is a combination of the cutter and a blunt tool. So if you look at the hole is distorted. We've also got a bit of inconsistent welding, sugaring, maybe, I don't know if it's been purged or not. That's the first thing I looked at, because if it hasn't been purged, then you're at more risk of corrosion. So it corrodes at that point. So if you look at a lot of bike frames, they tend to corrode at the joints. And then look at it. I mean, look at that. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it looks like it's been friction welded. So the little chips, and you can see them, have gone round, picked up, and then left these fucking tram lines in there. It's just absolutely appalling, okay? Now, there are some people who have said this is a Paragon head tube somewhere from California. And apparently that's got 0.5 mil of machining tolerance fitted in, allowance. So it's taken up more than that. So this segment here, so between there and there, I don't know, 25, 30 degrees, okay? It's totally distorted. And it's just ridiculous. So this is the picture I put up. This is the entire thing. If someone accepts this, don't know. Now, is this a reject? Now, would I reject it? Yes, I fucking well would. Half-arsed workmanship and diabolical machining sequence. No one in their right fucking mind reams it before they finish the welding of it, especially because the head tube's likely to bend, right? The hole, I mean, these are statements of fact. Well, the first one is a statement of fact. The hole is not round because the cutter has not kissed the full circumference, right? Now, he's unlikely to have a weld procedure specification, or WPS, right? If you're going to buy a frame from one of these artisans or whatever, just be aware that if you go and buy something probably off the shelf, like premium, I'm saying premium, a lot of the Taiwanese companies have weld procedures and all that kind of stuff. In the next slide, I'll talk about that. Now, he could have used a head tube with a bigger finishing tolerance. So instead of it being 0.5 mil, which is a lot, he could have had like 1 mil. Okay, he might not have got his reamer in there, but whatever. That surface finish is completely unacceptable. And the sugaring on the back, I mean, I asked a couple of my, I mean, I'm not a materials engineer by any means, or a welding engineer, but I asked some people who were. So there's this body called the Welding Institute in the UK, who's like the primary body for, I'd say, for materials technology, and TWI, and a couple of these people are, you know, fully accredited by them, and they said it's just a fucking joke. Okay, they didn't say fucking, they said, oh boy, do it on the cheap, no one will notice, it doesn't fucking matter. Because it fucking matters, it's not even round. Right, and the reaming should be completed after the head tube has been welded, because as soon as you dump some more heat in there, okay, first of all, it like partially stress relieves it, then you get it hot, then you get it cool, it just bends it more like a fucking banana. I would hazard a guess as he has not clocked the top and the lower bearing seats to see what the run out is, and I bet they're fucking miles out. Right, reaming before welding is absolutely fucking mindless. Right, weld procedures. This is a weld procedure specification. So just to give you an idea, like when you do welds in sort of industry, so whether it's metal framework for a civil engineering building like a stadium or something, or it's a piece of pipe on nuclear specification, or just any old piece of pipe, you have 3 steps. So you have the procedure qualification record, which is like a test that the Welding Institute has done and said, yeah, this method works. I'll give you a strength of this, oxidation resistance of this, blah, 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 blah. From that, you get this, which is WPS, weld procedure specification, but everyone just calls them weld procedures. And this is a copy of one that I've just lifted from somewhere. The main reason I got it is because there is a joke in the road world, especially on this channel, about having super duper steel. Well, the closest I could get was super duplex steel, so it does actually exist. Now, anyway, the bits of this that are important is it specifies the weld type, so you've got TIG, the filler material, the fill material, the root material, that's related really to the joint geometry, weld geometry, and then the type of weld. So you've got single-sided butt weld, and then welding position is you can either have flat in front of you, which I think is 1, 6 I think is above overhead, I can't remember for sure, and then what you're welding. So you've got super duplex steel, how thick it is. So shed 160, schedule 160 is the wall thickness. So if the shed is higher, so let's say it was shed 320, that is a thicker wall than shed 160 and shed 80. So shed 80 is quite a common pipe. Shed, I think 40, 20, maybe 10. But anyway, that's that. Oh, bollocks. Right. And then you've got the weld details, how fast the, yeah, you're supposed to weld, current, all this kind of stuff, and some notes in here. You've also got something in there about purge gas on this particular one. Now, that purge gas can make or break a weld, because sometimes in order to qualify it, you need it, and other times you don't. But there you go. Again, I'm not an expert, but I have seen my fair share of weld procedures in my time. Right, the conclusion, right? Make your standards so low that you reject nothing. There is no way I'd fucking accept this, especially for like 3 grand, 4 grand. Here's my artisan bike frame. Just go buy one off the shelf from Taiwan with its weld procedures, fully purged, robotic welded, right? The bar must be set so fucking low that MTB riders consider this good. And they're always rabbiting on about the quality of BTR's welds. Well, I don't think they're that great. But anyway, now one of the things you have noticed, or I have noticed, is people put loads of pictures of these nicely painted frames up on the internet and say, oh, that looks beautiful, that looks beautiful. It's not really going to matter, right, if the welding's shit, right? And then this. You can read that one yourself, right? This is not the worst, I'll give that, but it's not the best. And to give you a bit of comparison, this is worse than my handlebar wrapping, which everyone knows is fucking shit, but I'm not ashamed to admit that. In fact, I think it's quite endearing of me. Right, that brings us to the end of the show. If you did enjoy it, remember to smash that like button. If you didn't, go screw yourself. And as always, keep banging your hairdresser.